Hey, what's up, junior high leaders? I just want to give you a quick recap on the message so you kind of know what's going on in your community groups on Wednesday night. First of all, I want to say thank you for what you do week in, week out. You are the superheroes of the youth ministry. We could not do this without you. So you're the best. Keep it up. You're awesome. But I talked about the importance of being foolish, and we were talking about Benaiah, and basically everything Benaiah did seemed foolish. 2 against 1. And he beat the two. He faced an Egyptian giant that had a spear and he only had a club. And then also he chased a lion down into a pit on a snowy day. And that's a pretty foolish thing to do too. And I talked about two things that happen when we do not act foolishly and when we're not foolish or we're afraid of foolishness. The first thing that happens is we hide who we really are. And I talked about Adam and Eve and how Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden and they were without shame, even though they were completely naked. And they were naked, they were without shame, and they were cool with that. But then, as soon as they ate from that apple, their eyes were open to their nakedness and they felt foolish. They felt ashamed, embarrassed, and exposed and naked. And so, basically, since the very first man and woman, Satan has been trying to get us to hide behind this curtain of foolishness. And it's a way that he tries to keep us from being who we really are. And so, whether you're a dancer, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be foolish. Go ahead and dance. Or a rapper, then rap. And God is looking for those few that are willing to stand up and follow Him and say, "I'll follow you, God, no matter how foolish I might look in the process." And the next thing you hide when you don't act foolishly is you hide who you could be. Now imagine what Benaiah would have gone through, what kind of story he would have had if he never would have chased that lion down into that pit, or he never would have faced that Egyptian or faced those 2 against 1. He would have missed out on something great. He would have missed out on greatness, and that he would have missed out on who God wanted him to be. And that's another thing. Satan tries to keep us from being who God wants us to be by hiding behind this fear of foolishness. If you go back to the story of Adam and Eve, remember they're in the garden, they're afraid, they're hiding from God because they're naked, and God shows up and God says this in Genesis 3:11. He says, "Who told you that you were naked?" He basically says, "Who told you that?" And that's just kind of one of the things that we ended with last week was with just the "Who told you that?" And many times we feel like we're going to look stupid if we stand up for God. Many times we think it's weird talking to a God we can never see, but I just told him, "Who told you that?" Many times people feel like they're not good enough, or like their family's a mess and it's all their fault, or they're worthless, or they're not skinny or pretty enough. And it really just comes down to who told you that. When we have this fear of foolishness, of being this person that we want to be and the person that God wants us to be, but this fear of foolishness is holding us back. But God says, "Who told you that?" You can do something great for God if you're not afraid to look foolish in the process. Thanks, leaders. You guys rock. Hope you have an awesome time. Hope you have a great time in your community group. Peace. Much love.